It's DEW Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, and good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this DEW Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? Oh, we started off shaking the Monday morning blues with the DEW Time crew, and we got our switch tip for the week. Stop trying to build without Jesus. Now, that's all that needs to be said. We are doing everything in our life, and we are trying to do it without Jesus. We're trying to build relationships. We're trying to build careers. We're trying to raise our children. Everything we do must include God. There is no way in the world anything is going to be successful without God. Now, we see this is going on all over. That's all we look at all week. Week in, week out, day in, day out. We talk about relationships going bad. We're talking about policing that's bad. We talk about parenting that's bad. We talk about bringing babies into this world that's bad. Everything. Because the world is trying to do it without God. And another practical switch tip from Shantice, and it goes right along with anything that we have talked about all week long, including on Tuesday when we went to the town hall meeting regarding Jaden Pierce's death here in Queens at Roy Wilkins Park. Such a senseless death. And, they talked all about, how we need to get guidance counselors into schools, and we're the social workers, and we need policing, and we need lights, and we need, more gateways to college for our children, and we need more after school programs and activities for our children. But we have to realize that without Christ, everything else is built on shaky ground. Everything. We need to build on a firm foundation. And that's the only way we're going to get that done. Well, on Wednesday, we talked to Vivian, and we got our socially conscious segment. And we talked about that Pennsylvania teacher who is now being hailed 2026 National Teacher of the Year. He has spent 25 years in the classroom. And listen, these days and times to spend time in the classroom and the children have no complaints, and you as a teacher, you're not sitting behind bars or somehow in jail or arrested or accused of something, is an amazing feat. So shout out to Mr. Leon Smith, who is definitely doing the thing out there in Pennsylvania. We had our Texas story of them saying, yes, the federal law is passed in Texas that they can put the 10 Commandments in the school. So we say, take it and run. Yep, because we don't know how long they've been battling with this. We've done stories about this off and on, about, whether the 10 Commandments should be in the school, out the school. At one point it was in the school, then it was out the school. Well, now in Texas, it is back in the school. So we're going to give God the glory for that. Well, Therapeutic Thursday all rolled around, and we got to talking about, again, the dad who killed all of his children in one swoop along with another child in their sleep with some nasty looking rifle style handgun, and they're getting everybody attached to this because dad was killed by the police when he tried to hijack a car. So now anybody who is attached to this occurrence, they are getting in. We talked about, the fact that they do have a suspect who they say had the gun, who gave it to the dad, and they even go back even further, and they have the person who had the gun before that individual. And we talked about choosing your friends. Choosing your friends. What are you using as a gauge, as to who your friends are going to be? Are you going to be like the kids where everybody is your friend and you don't have any background and, they're just somebody who's nice to you and, you click with? Or are you really going to do your research and find out who you are associating with? Because we're still trying to figure out why the woman had the gun in the first place and how it got to Charles Ford and how Charles Ford got it to what's his name? Shamar Elkins. Yeah, know who you are affiliating yourself with, because if not, you are going to go down possibly for something that you know nothing about. Now, that is definitely not the case here, because they surely know how one person got the gun and that person got the gun, and they know all of that. But we know sometimes you can get swooped up into some stuff, that you have no idea that's even going on. So you know what? Keep your eyes open, keep your ears to the ground, make sure you know who you're affiliating yourself with. And it goes back to, choosing God, because God will choose your people. God will choose your friends. Your friends are going to give you sound advice. Your friends are going to pray with you. Your friends are going to let you know what not to get involved in. And those your friends. Those are your people. So, come on, let's get this done right, especially as adults. We have no excuse whatsoever. Well, here we are. Friday, Freestyle Friday, y'all. We made it by the grace of God. We are here at the end of the week, wrapping up things. It's been one crazy week over here, but one serious week over here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph. We have had a ball, but we've talked about some real thought-provoking things. Well, we have our men on today, and they do nothing else but give you some thought-provoking conversation. And we got some weird things coming down the pipeline today, so I would love to see what they think about it. So come on and join the party. Go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
Don't even realize what you're going through is just God bragging on you, trying to show the devil, this is mine right here. I'm going to take you off your leash for just a season. Go ahead, take away their job. Get them the flat tire. Let somebody betray them. Watch how they still show up, bloody, bruised, and hurting, but still crawl into my presence, still giving me praise. I'm telling you right now, don't disappoint your father in the middle of what you're going through. I want to throw this mic. Man, don't disappoint your father in the middle of what you're going through. Man, he bragging on some of y'all from heaven right now. That's why you're going through what you're going through, because he know you can handle that. And I want to say to you, watch, come out on the other side. Somebody shout, come out. Man, you got to come out on the other side. You got to know how to live well and suffer well and come out on the other side. And not die in the middle of what you're going through. Not give up your faith in the middle of what you're going through. Not give up hope.
good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to Zoo Time with Pastor Steph, and it is Freestyle Friday. Woo! It's been a week, but thanks be to God, we made it. Yo, that right there. Oh my goodness. That's an excellent PSA. A lot of times we say, God, please don't be calling out my name to the enemy because I just can't be no Job. Well, you know what? I like the way this guy puts it. He says, God is bragging on you. And you know what? That really shifts when you think about, do I want God calling out my name to the enemy? Yeah, don't stop. The Bible tells us, do not grow weary in well doing. And I'm going to tell you something. Lord, that's a tall order sometimes. Because things and people will definitely just really, really try your last nerve and really make you want to do some things, say some things. But I like that. I like that. Good PSA, Shanti's boy. Where do you go for your arsenal? Where you get your arsenal from? You like Vivian and her socially conscious segment. Well, you know what time it is. It is time to say good morning. Yes, to all my wonderful viewers. So if you're in the room, you know how we play this game. Please make sure you let me know. Other than that, I don't know you're in the room and I can't say hello to you. All right, let's say good morning to our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty girl, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a new individual in the room. Am I saying Sule? Okay, if I'm not, please forgive me. Good morning to you too, ma'am. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you stick around and get some good stuff today. Yes, Ketty, another great PSA. We got a shout out from our lady, Minister Tamika. Good morning. And we are definitely saying good morning to those who hold it down for us each and every single morning. If it weren't for these ladies, we would not even be here on this broadcast airing. Good morning, Shanti's. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And good morning to Anika. Thank you so much for holding us down. If Miss Grace is out there, we want to say a hearty good morning to you. And yes, Shanti says that PSA definitely has me rethinking when I say to God, are you calling me up to the battle? Yeah. Definitely makes you, rethink some things. All righty. Well, you know what we do first thing on a Friday morning after we say good morning. We go for our celebrity trivia if we have some. And this morning, I stumbled across something that I really thought was interesting. I don't have any idea who is on this list. They are talking about the jobs that celebrities had prior to becoming big time. And I am dying to see who was on this list and what they did. Years ago, we used to always talk about the starving actors and, they used to wait tables and deliver mail and all kinds of things. So let's see who's on this list this morning. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt used to be a chicken mascot. Wow, Brad Pitt. Yeah. They say he wore a chicken suit for El Polo Loco before landing an acting role. And he handed out flyers on the street. And the job became one of Hollywood's most famous pre-fame stories. Wow. And we know Brad Pitt has been in some big blockbuster movies. So good for him. Good for him. Who else is on this list? Jennifer Aniston. Now, she made it big from Friends, and she was a telemarketer. Okay. They say she worked several jobs before becoming an actor, including a bike messenger, a receptionist, and an ice cream store clerk. Wow. Okay. Jim Carrey. His fame came from what? In Living Color. Yes, In Living Color with the Wayans. We had not heard of Jim Carrey before then, and he really became one blockbuster actor. You know, that In Living Color really catapulted some individuals like J-Lo. Yeah, she was one of the fly girls. You remember her bouncing around? And J-Lo was pretty. She wasn't a thin either. Yeah, she had a little meat on them bones, but she was bouncing around doing that dance thing. Jamie Foxx. Yes. We're definitely not going to talk about Sean and Marlon Wayans becoming, the big writers and, producers and, of their own movies. We are going to talk about Jim Carrey. What about, what's his name? David Allen Greer. Got a nice little launch. He was into acting before In Living Color. Tommy Davidson got some notoriety from there. So what about Kim, what's her name? Oh my goodness. Kim Coles. She went on to becoming one of the 4 in Living Single. Yes. So, quite a few people then jumped off from, In Living Color. So Jim Carrey was a janitor with his family to help ends meet. He cleaned factories while pursuing comedy, and he later broke through with In Living Color. He went on to do Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, The Mask. Yeah, he's done some things. And I have to tell you, when he was on Living Color, I used to crack up laughing at him. Since then, I don't think he's funny at all. No. Harrison Ford. Now, he is definitely a big blockbuster. Remember, one of his early works was Star Wars. He's done Clear and Present Danger. He's done The Fugitive. Harrison Ford has been out there. Yeah. He worked as a carpenter to support his family. They say he even built cabinets for Hollywood clients. That work led to connections that helped launch his acting career. Wow. Listen, they always say, get to know people. Get to know people. Channing Tatum. Now, I don't know him for a lot of his work, but I do know Channing Tatum from White House Down with Jamie Foxx. And I really liked him in that. But, he's a pretty good, he's done his thing in the acting world. Well, Tatum was a stripper. Yep. In Florida before he started acting. And, he was the one who did Magic Mike? Wow. Okay, Magic Mike was pretty popular. And I think they even did 2 installments of that movie. I could be wrong, but I think they did 2 installments of that. Julia Roberts. Now, we all know Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy, Runaway Bride. She's done some Pretty Woman. Yeah, she's done some things. She is also the sister of Eric Roberts. And Eric Roberts, he's got quite a bit of acting credits, but it's so hard to think of things that he was in. Yeah, but for me, I can't think of anything he was in off the top of my head. So we have Julia Roberts. She worked at Baskin and Robbins. Wow. Before her fame, and she served customers while pursuing acting. So we're talking this morning about the little jobs that actors had prior to them becoming famous. All right. Who else? I don't know who that is, so I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Well, Steve Buscemi. Now you know Steve Buscemi. Just look him up. Oh my goodness, he starred in, was it Boardwalk on HBO, Atlantic City? Yeah, they did this movie about, I guess, how Atlantic City got started. That's him. Yes. Well, he's got a nice amount of acting credits behind his name, and he served as a New York City firefighter. Can you imagine? Wow. They say he even returned to help after 9/11. And he went on to become a strong actor. Hey, Terrence. We got a check-in from Terrence. Good morning, Your Highness. All right. Who else is on this list? Kanye West. Kanye West. He worked at Gap when he was a teenager. And they say he developed his fashion interest there. And we know what happened with him. He became someone big in the music industry, but he once was in Gap. All righty. All right, give me a moment to do some things here. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. I had to take care of some business here. Who else are we talking about before they became famous? Cardi B. Well, we know that's the Bronxite girl. And she says she worked at an Amish market in New York. Well, I'd really like to know where that is, because I'm from the Bronx. I don't know nothing about no Amish area, much less an Amish market. Okay, they say she has openly discussed being fired from that job, and she later found success in the rap world. All right, well, good for her, especially after being fired. Especially after being fired, if you could bounce back on your feet to the degree that she has, not so bad. Nicki Minaj. Well, she worked at Red Lobster and some other jobs. She said she was fired for customer disputes. Another one, fired from one job. Big things in the music industry. Madonna. Yes, the Material Girl. Oh, Shanti says that Nicki Minaj worked in the Red Lobster in Green Acres. Wow. We were there when they first opened up Red Lobster, before there was a Red Lobster in Green Acres. Wow, that's interesting to know. Madonna, the Material Girl, worked at Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Another one who got fired shortly got the job and became one of the biggest 80s icons. Wow. Jay Leno. We know Jay Leno. He was the big talk show host for quite some time. He was a fast food worker who worked at McDonald's before he got into comedy. And then he moved on to doing the Tonight Show. Not bad, huh? All righty. Pink. Another fast food worker over at McDonald's. Again, another one who got fired more than once and ended up in the music industry big time. Yo, is that what we doing now? Because that seems to be the thing. Who else is on this list? Wanda Sykes. We know Wanda Sykes. She's now on, what's that Netflix show? Give me that Netflix show, Shantis. I can't think of it right now. The Upshores. There we go. The Upshores. She is a comedian, a well-known female comedian, and she worked as an NSA contracting specialist. Wow. And she left that job to pursue comedy. Well, thank God she didn't get fired. Yeah, you don't want to get fired from the government. You get fired from the little side jobs. Meghan Markle. We know Meghan Markle married into the royal family. Well, she worked as a freelance calligrapher. You know, those are the people with the nice, beautiful handwriting. Yeah. Well, she wrote wedding invitations for high-end clients. Now, I didn't know she was in Suits. Yeah, the series. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. Sydney Sweeney. The name sounds familiar. Some of you may know who that is. But Sydney Sweeney worked over at Universal Studios as a tour guide. All righty. And she was kind of working and doing auditions. Okay. Nice. Dwayne Johnson. We know Dwayne Johnson to be who? The Rock. Yes. Prior to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, you remember he used to be a wrestler. Yeah. Well, back in the day, he was a dishwasher. Wow. All right. He used to do some odd jobs. George Clooney. We know George Clooney from ER, as well as some other blockbuster movies. He moved on. That was one of his early works, George Clooney. And he really broke out and started doing some really big movies. Well, George Clooney was a shoe salesman. Yes, that's who he was. All righty. And he held down a couple of jobs, but shoe salesman was one of the bigger ones. All righty. Who else are we talking about? Megan Fox. Yes, Megan Fox dressed as a banana to promote a smoothie shop. Wow. Wow. You know how they outside of the store dancing? Yep, that's what she did. Okay. Halle Berry. Now, we know who Halle Berry is and what she has stepped into. Well, Halle Berry worked retail while pursuing modeling and acting. And we know she could have definitely gotten that modeling thing going, but she stepped into bigger things and did her acting thing. They say she also competed in beauty pageants. Definitely, she could do the beauty pageant thing. Well, that's what our favorite actors used to do. All righty. Well, let's get to some of our celebrity stories. Well, one of the stories I have this morning, we know that this is the big weekend for the Jackson movie. Yeah, the Jackson biopic, Michael. And, you know, a lot of people are really, really into going to see this movie. And I can only imagine what the lines must look like. Only imagine what the lines must look like. We have a shout out from TP. Where, you know, I'm in New York. So tell us where you're from, TP. Thank you for giving us a shout this morning. Well, as this highly biopic movie is set to, you know, launch this weekend, Monday was the premiere in Hollywood. Yeah, premiere night in Hollywood. And they say that Janet and Latoya, they were ghosts. Yeah, they both have definitely bowed out of being involved with this movie, supporting the movie clearly. And they received invitations to participate in the film even, but they chose to pass on the opportunity. And, Janet just simply bowed out, declined, did not have anything to say. Latoya, on the other end, says she wishes the production well, but she just preferred to step back. She was a little more vocal than Janet was. And, they say that they would be missed, being a part of this. Well, I don't know that because I haven't seen it yet, and I do plan to see it. So we'll see what it looks like. I'm interested in what this biopic looks like. I'm kind of a little surprised because I would love to know what this is weird. I would like to know what the this is weird. I would really like to know what they thought about the nephew, being in this movie. How did they feel about it? So, all right, y'all. It looked like I just lost all of my stories. This is really, really weird. This is really weird. So Shantice, I'm going to ask you to kind of send me what I sent you. Hopefully it's thorough, because I have no idea where all my stories went. They just all disappeared. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, let me see if I can do something here. We got a little technical difficulty going on here. But let's see if we can grab some stories here. Oh boy, we're in trouble. Well, we just may have to improvise, which is not the worst thing in the world, but may take me a little bit of time to get, some information here. This is really weird. Really weird. Well, let me pull up my boy Ainsley. I see he's on. All right. Shantice has got a little bit of trailer for us. So go ahead, Shantice. I would love to see this.
I've been so many places in my life and time.
Life comes at you fast, whether you're ready for it or not.
Acted out my life in stages.
Everything has to come.
Boy, that was a quick snippet of The Chi. They are in their last season this year. And they're in their last season this year. And I'm really interested in seeing what they're gonna come up with this year. What they're gonna come up with. Thank you for showing that little piece to get our mouths watered. Where's my boy Ainsley? Let's get to talking.
Hey, good morning. Good happy Friday morning.
Good morning.
Technically
Good
challenged
morning.
Friday morning, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I sat up late. When I tell you late, I mean late, pulling up stuff for tonight. And I'm trying to go back and see, because I had some really good stories actually. But
Okay.
you know what? Let's start with
We can wing it a little bit.
yeah, we always end up doing that anyway, right? So Janet and LaToya have declined in being a part of the Michael biopic.
Mm-hmm.
Now the nephew is playing in it, so needless to say, I'm sure they've got some authentic stories, to go along with this. Now, I believe this is taking place kind of later in life. I don't think this is like a real, like the American Dream, where it takes from when they were in Gary and all of those things.
Okay.
But what do you think of them even declining and not being a part? They were invited to actually be a part of the movie itself, and they said no.
Yeah, because there's always going to be some difference of opinion.
Yeah.
And I believe, like, Janet, she has certain things that's not. I believe I'm not exactly sure exactly what, but there are certain significant parts that she's disagreed that's not in part of it.
Okay.
And because coach, she's the youngest of the Jacksons, but but I believe there was this discontentment about how things was came about, in spite of that's her nephew playing the part. And but the thing is too, particularly for us who grew up with the whole the Jackson 5 and the Jackson and Michael Jackson stuff like this, and how many stories of the Jacksons, how much more, what new is going to come out now?
Thank you.
It's going to justify me go spend $20 to go to the movies and see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I myself am not moved. You want to go to the movies and see this? I gotta hear some rave reviews. Why? What else am I going to know that I don't already know?
Okay.
And
That's been a question that I had too.
Yeah, and I believe I came across that the whole thing with the child case he had. He had to go strip search and all this kind of stuff. That the studios had to actually go pay. They had found out that with this state that nothing about the victims can be made public at all.
Really?
Yeah. So some parts of it had to be reshot. So I think the estate they had to pay like
yes, I did hear that, and that threw a monkey wrench in part of this movie. Yes. I remember that, Ames. I do remember that.
Yeah, so it's a lot of parts of that. Because I'm like, if you're gonna tell it, man, tell it all, man.
Right. Since we gotta have 9 stories, right?
Yeah, tell me something, the sort of details, come on. But by now, what are we going to know, man? It just it's more of the same. If anything, I'd be more inclined to want to go see the Broadway show than the movie.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
I heard the Broadway show was pretty nice. You know,
Yes, I did.
but
I did hear that.
yeah, and I did see it was a few years. It was years ago now. Wow, 40 years. Um, there was a tribute to him in Las Vegas. I've been in Vegas, and they had the this, it wasn't even with AI, but you know they had the likeness of him. It was like he was
Okay.
actually on the stage dancing. You know, it was like, you know, he's
Really?
dead, but it's like how they did that. It's amazing though. So
Wow.
technology
Okay.
is something else, man. So even then,
Wow.
fans were flipping out. "Ah," but
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Interesting.
still, I'm not that interested in going to see the movie. You know,
Okay. I am interested in seeing the movie, but I do have to agree with you that, it's kind of been done so much. And, that like, what else is there to be told? And I guess that may be why I'm kind of inclined to go, because I'm like, all right, what else are we? That's why Shantice just got finished telling me that they're actually starting back from the Jackson 5. Now, that unless you're going to tell some stories that were not told. I don't need to see Joe Jackson beating, the kids and trying to whip them into shape. I don't need to see that part of it.
right? I
And
want to see stuff we don't know, like
right, right,
something
right.
like I
That's what
came
I'm looking.
across a lot of songs that Michael Jackson wrote. A lot of people don't know that he actually wrote. You know, I want to see some
Okay.
stuff like that. You know, how his musical genius and stuff. You know, it kind of worked. It's really, really ingenious and whatnot. So I want to see stuff. I want to see stuff like that. The stuff with the head catching on fire. You know, come on,
Right, right. No, I
you
agree.
know.
I definitely agree that um I'm looking to get some stories that are authentic, stories that have not been told, stories that, so like you said, if they did like a part of it where um they showed like the music that he actually wrote, and maybe some inspiration behind some of those songs that I wouldn't mind actually hearing. I'm
Right.
hearing those stories. Terrence says he heard that the movie was good because his cousin saw it last night, and he said that Terrence said he did see the Broadway show, which was excellent. And I
Okay.
did hear that the Broadway show was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe
And
so.
that I was kind of, on seeing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, whatever. That deal, I did. It just didn't move me to go see it. But,
I would feel
like I
that
said,
way too, because when I saw that, like I said, the show in Las Vegas, um, it made me think, okay, and I think when you see a live performance, and it kind of, I guess
yeah,
I'm
it's
into live
different.
thing anyway, and
Yeah,
so it brings a
yeah,
little element than just watching a TV show. You know. Oh, another thing,
it's
let's take on
definitely
the show
different.
night, depiction of him dying,
What
getting
happened?
his last drug to put him to sleep forever. The whole thing with the doctor giving him that what's the
Right. Then now that would be an interesting story, because I have to tell you, I'm surprised that there was not more that came out about that. I really thought that after that incident and Michael Jackson losing his life, I actually thought that there was going to be a big story behind that, and it really wasn't. So I have to agree with you. Now I wouldn't mind seeing something about that if they started
hmm
talking about the court case. And well, you and I and Shantice, we're court case people. We love to see
hmm
courtroom drama. So I would, now that I'd go for live or in the movie.
Yeah. A matter of fact,
I'd
I
do
need to look
that.
up the doctor, who was responsible. I forgot how much time he got. Is he out yet?
Yeah, I don't think he stayed in jail long.
Only he's in the line. He's out.
Yeah.
Imagine he can come out of jail and watch the movie.
That's something, Ames. That's something. We got our brother Al on, and he looks pretty stationary. So let's see what's going on with brother Al, why he's on today. Good morning, brother Al.
Oh, the basketball stars.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. We're talking about the movie, the Michael biopic that's out this weekend, and the fact that LaToya and Janet were invited to actually be in the movie. They both declined, and they're not interested at all. And Ainsley, brought up the fact that we've seen more than enough Michael Jackson movies. He's not too inclined to go see it, but he would look at the Broadway show. He would watch the Broadway show. Are you interested in this this Michael biopic?
Yes, absolutely.
Why, after there's been so many stories about Michael Jackson?
Well, you know what? I see things a lot differently. Us as color folks, we don't get a lot of stuff. We don't get a lot with our celebrity or people who should have movies. Like, I'm dying waiting for them to do a Stevie Wonder one. So we don't get much. So when they do it, I wouldn't mind looking at it to check it out, to support it. A lot of times us as color folks, we complain about so much stuff. Oh, this person should have had a movie, they didn't do this. Oh, they should have did this with this one. Then when we get the opportunity, people are like, I don't want to go see it. So I just see that differently because look how many movies and things they got about Elvis Presley. You even got little kids impersonating Elvis Presley. I've seen it. I've seen a little kid and got it down pat, the dance and everything. Tons of white folks go out to see him. They support their stuff when they get a star out there. So I look at it, when we get something out there, why not support it? And that's our biggest problem. Okay. We get our stuff out there, and people like, I ain't going to see it. And then when we don't have nothing, they never do nothing about us. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
we don't mind seeing it, brother Al. We just don't want to see the same stuff. Bring some new stuff to the table. Right, bring something new to the table. Don't bring the same old stories that have been told to the table. How many times are we going to look at the 1983 25th anniversary of Motown, Billie Jean dance? I'm being honest. I'm with Ainsley on this one. My thing is, I don't mind seeing new stuff. If you like, we talked about the doctor who killed him, pretty much. Take us down that journey of how you handled the prosecution. That's interesting. Because we've got the American Dream, we've got this movie, that movie, this movie, that movie. We got Ben. You know what? I want to see something that's a little different. So that's why I would go see the movie I was saying earlier, because hopefully there would be something different in the in this particular story. Let's see what Pastor Jeff says. Say that again.
I said, I'm curious on what they're going to talk about this time.
Right.
Like you said, we didn't heard majority of the stuff. That is a great story. Hey, let's talk about the doctor. He know better. Let's talk about him on what he did.
Right. Now,
let's show how he died for real. Yeah,
Right. You give us some behind the scenes of that we didn't know, that they did not report. So like
show when he first started taking those drugs in the first place.
Right.
That wasn't the first time, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
How he even picked you out of all people to even be the doctor to administer that drug on a regular basis. Yeah. I'm with you, Ames. Let's get some new stuff, and that I'll definitely run to.
Come on, Pastor, we can shoot that movie. Come on, you direct it. You do the director. We know you're gonna be hard on the case. We let Ainsley do the research, and I'll do the casting.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Listen, I say let's get it done.
Hey, look,
You gotta have Brother Jeff do something on here now.
I already see people. Pastor Jeff can play the doctor. He look a little bit like him.
Good morning, Pastor Jeff.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, what up, bro?
Okay, thanks. How are you?
I was good till somebody said I look like a murderer.
Why you gotta go there, Jeff? I mean, come on. You look like the doctor. Why you guys say look like the doctor, the murderer?
The doctor murdered him, right?
Listen, I say it's a good cast. See, this is what you see. You got to join the party. You see what happens between those who know how to cast and those who are on the other side of the fence. Yeah, that's a compliment. Yo, he looks just like
There it is.
You camera ready, bro? You ready?
Yes,
to go,
yes.
It's on your lines. That's all.
Let's get it on. And wait. And the one that said I look like him, let him play Michael so I can kill him.
Oh my god! This is from the church folk. Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Wow. All right, Pastor Jeff, we're talking about whether we're going out to see this new Michael biopic. Janet and Latoya have both declined to be involved in it. You know, what's your take? Are you going to be a part of this?
Yeah. I'm thinking about going to see it this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, you sure won't have a fight there.
You know, my man. That's my man. That's back in the days. It was Michael and Prince.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to be more like Prince, though. You know, because.
Now look at the what do you call it? The association with Prince. You'd rather be Prince than the doctor who killed Michael?
Yeah. Prince was the ladies' man.
He wasn't only the ladies' man.
Nah, he was ladies' man, and he was the man's man.
Listen, back then, I wasn't accepting that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, I used to put on my Webo pants, you know, and do my little Prince, you know, rendition.
And then we got Shantice at the makeup artist.
That I need to see. I need to see this rendition, Jeff.
I had my hair like Prince back then.
We gotta see some pictures, bro.
Oh yeah,
I got some pictures.
We got the pictures.
But then I used to wear the afro like Michael Jackson too, and I used to know how to spin and do that little kick up. You know, I learned how to do it.
We need a reenactment.
If I do that now, man, I don't know
reenactment, Pastor Jeff.
That
we're gonna give you a week to rehearse.
It hurts now.
Oh, wait a minute, Ames. Wait. You got a 25-year-old hip. You should be able to be doing a whole lot of kicks in the air and stuff like that. Remember, Ainsley, we're the old
right.
ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That same hip, I now need surgery on. Okay.
Wow. I would have loved to see this in action. Wow. Okay, let's hear what Pastor KO has to say. If he got a hee in it for us this morning.
Mm-hmm. Let's put a riff on it.
We casted Pastor KL as Tito.
Why you gonna give him the talentless one?
Oh my God.
Listen, Jeff, you full of negativity this morning. You sit up and you be quiet.
I'm in charge of casting here.
Tito don't have no talent, man.
How you know? Did he play the guitar?
Tito played the guitar.
Yes. How you mean he's talentless?
They just threw him in there because he was one of the kids.
Much better than being Jermaine with that hairstyle.
Ciao. And that non-singing voice. Hey, Pastor KL, good morning.
Good morning. I'm playing Michael when he was black.
Oh no, you had to go there. Oh my. Oh my goodness. We know you're not the movie buff and all of this kind of stuff, but are you interested in anything this new Michael biopic has to bring to the table?
Not at all. Not just one bit. Not at all. I don't want to. It's funny. I just heard a commentary just yesterday, and they was talking about the movie, and people was talking about how Michael wants to be white, and someone who knew him very, very well said no, that Michael never wanted to be white. He was really into his blackness. He just realized that because of his color, he wouldn't have made it as big as he was. And then they compared him, or they went to the other side where they say, well, Taylor Swift makes more money than Beyonce, and Beyonce is much better. But because of your color, that's why it's happening like that.
Wow. Okay, well, let me put that on the table. Well, let me get this comment. Anika says, I agree. I would like courtroom drama also. Well, hey, Pastor Jeff, do you believe that Michael would have made more money as the white Michael than he did as the black big nose Michael?
Yeah. Really? I would agree.
Okay. Why do you agree?
Because that's the way it is. They everything right is white. He needed to fit into that, right? To really, get to that level. So even though they knew he was black, just like a light-skinned white woman would be more acceptable marrying a white guy to a white family than a dark-skinned black woman. It's just the way it is. That's what they want to paint out there. That's what they putting out there, and that's what makes the money.
Okay.
White think all these celebrities be bleaching their skin and everything else.
Okay. Ainsley, what do you think?
Oh, most definitely. He made that crossover. Keyword crossover. Being the big nose, dark skin Michael. After the war, that he wouldn't have that much more crossover appeal. You gotta think the majority of Americans, they're white. We like what they say 10-15%. So to get liked by that much, you gotta have that certain appeal. And right off the bat, come on, we know America is kind of racist as it is. So being dark, there would already be a bias, somewhat of a bias towards him before you even open up his mouth. So having lighter skin, it means it gives him more automatic, more acceptance. It's like, oh, he's more like us from the other side of the fence. And the music, it was, more popish, more rockish, as opposed to more straight up R&B. So yeah, of course.
Okay. Brother Al, what's your thought?
Absolutely. Yes. When you look at his even his concert, and them concerts cost cash. So white folk don't spend their cash. I look at when they go to basketball games, I go this, how much popcorn? They'd be like $20. I'd be like, never mind. You got this white guy. This white guy, he come behind me and buy for all 6 of his kids. They spend that money. But yeah, and when you look at it too, who you always see in the front row? White folks, and they the one passing out. I think if they, if they did it, if he didn't do it, he still would have been big, but I don't think he would have been as big as he was.
Okay. And do you agree with that, Pastor KL?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. You know, as great as you know Michael was, yeah, I think if he stayed a Negro, he'd be in trouble. You know, as to Al's point, you know, we can't afford them kind of tickets. Not a lot of us. So you know, when they went across countries and stuff like that, it was a whole bunch of light-skinned folks. Not only that, black folks ain't falling out, you know, in there because we just got our hair done. It already cost us too much money to get us in there. You know what I mean? It cost me $200 to get in there, $300 to get my hair done. You know, if I fall out, my whole weave come off, my whole wig. Now I'm looking for the wig. No, it's not. That experience is not what they want.
Don't get the money for the outfit.
Right.
Yo, the prices for the tickets, you know, I think back in the day it was like about $400 for that victory tour, just like back in the 90s and stuff like that. You know, I think, you know, the Raymond, the Usher, Chris Brown, like in the clothes, their price is almost like about $4,000. Yo, who can afford stuff like that, man?
Okay, I got a question for y'all. So we talked about, Ainsley brought up who wrote Michael Jackson's music. And I do know that Teddy Riley wrote Remember the Time. I do know that R. Kelly wrote You Are Not Alone. But somebody just brought up the music. And Michael Jackson wrote or co-wrote Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Billie Jean, Beat It, Bad, and The Way You Make Me Feel. Rod Temperton wrote Thriller, Rock With You, Off the Wall, Baby Be Mine, and The Lady in My Life. Now, you all know who Rod Temperton. I think he's still alive. Wow.
Well, I think he passed.
He did? Okay.
I think he passed.
I do know. Okay, thanks. I do know he wrote Thriller. I did know that. I had no idea that he wrote Rock With You, Off the Wall, Baby Be Mine, and The Lady in My Life. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Wow. All of them?
I believe so. That's a keyboard thing. Keyboard player thing. You gotta know that.
Okay. Well, what about the rest of you? Did y'all know that Rod Temperton wrote those songs?
Nah, I didn't know that one. I knew some of the other ones, but not that one.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of the catalog. Saida Garrett co-wrote Man in the Mirror. And I know she wrote, I'm surprised they missed Liberian Girl. I know she had a part of that. And the other one, the one she sang with him, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. She wrote that one. I know she did.
Right.
I know she wrote that one. They have Steve Porcaro, who wrote Human Nature. They do list R. Kelly wrote You Are Not Alone. Quincy Jones co-wrote and collaborated a lot with others to write some of his music. Now, when he was a kid, so they had all this falling out when he was a kid. Do you think that this falling out when he was a kid is the same as falling out when he was an adult?
What do you mean falling out?
Literally passing out, and because Pastor Kale and Brother Al brought up the passing out and things like that. Do you think that there was a huge difference in them passing out? What are you passing out from? That's what I want to know. Somebody help me with that. Because we just got finished looking at this, just a piece of this catalog. What are you passing out from? Somebody help me find it. You know what? KL, Pastor KL, what are they falling out from? You and Ainsley to me are the first who can answer that, and then I would go to Al as people who are performers. what are you passing out from?
Well, Brother K, he the singer. He I know he had.
I know. That's why I said. That's why I said I'm gonna start with him.
Yeah, come on, tell some stories, bro. I know you got
some. Did they pass out, or did they throw? I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. This is a Christian thing.
Well, listen,
y'all will go all over the place with that.
In all of my greatness, I've never had anybody pass out for me. So I'm not sure what they're passing out is for. You know, is it too hot? Are they too close? You know what I mean? I don't know what it's the anxiety. And to me, it's most of the light-skinned folks. Like I said, we don't do too much passing out because you might lose your purse. You know, we are conscious of our area. We don't do passing out. We don't let you carry us through the audience passed out. That's a light-skinned thing. You know, even when you know the artist used to fall into the audience, that was light skin first. We no. I don't know what the excitement is about passing out, and I don't know how one person can get you to a heart palpitation that you just faint. No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for not lying and saying that people passed out.
No, you know, listen, I've done some stuff where I thought, you know, maybe somebody should have at least fell. You know what I mean? Just fall.
Hey.
Oh my God. All right, Ainsley. You know, what do you think the passing out is about?
Hysteria, just mass hysteria. You know, the excitement of seeing your hero struck, and I guess combined with the heat. I believe at one of those concerts, you know, I think it was at Budapest, because I think it was Budapest, because it was a country I never even heard of, Budapest, right?
Okay.
You know? And I think they was all like they sweating up a storm, and they had to carry the people out. They had to have so many ambulances on standby.
Yes, I saw.
I can't take the heat like that myself, you know. So I'm sorry, I had to go in the car, get an air conditioner or something. I can't do it myself. But I think it's mass hysteria, you know, people starstruck, and you know, and people just are just captivated by that, you know. And remember, I believe it was Michael Jackson when he did the Super Bowl. I think when he got on stage, he just stood on stage for about and didn't move for about a minute and a half. Don't do nothing, and people are screaming.
Wow. Yes.
I'm like, is something wrong with you or what, man? You know, Thomas Clifton, man. I paid like $200. Singing,
right,
man.
Right. I ain't paid shit to come out here and pose.
I can't put no modeling.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Brother Al. You know, we've seen, you know, like Ainsley said, you know, they come out and, you know, they pose and they just standing and people falling out and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. You know, what do you think that's from? Because it ain't hot in an arena. Not only that, you know, Ainsley brought out mass hysteria. You got about 100,000 people in this one place. The Michael Jackson looks like an ant on the stage. How is that? What are you fainting about?
Man, I just think like the anxiety, like they go into anxiety attack mode and their heart start beating 200-300 miles an hour. You know, like, bro, you all right? Your heart rate is not normal. And I'm like, Pastor KL, you know, and it ain't us, because, you know, black folks start thinking, okay, I love Michael Jackson, but if I pass out, I'm gonna mess up my stuff, my clothes and stuff. If I pass out, I might get trampled. And most of all, if I passed out,
I'll get robbed.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody I cannot afford to do this.
They ain't going through your pocket, Al. You ain't on the other side of the fence. You pose no
No, I said not me, the person who passed it out. You know,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be the one going through the pocket. You don't need this no more.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, I just stumbled across some trivia, and I am dying to hear what Pastor Jeff has to say about this one. I'm gonna get everybody's take on this. But at one point, initially Bad was supposed to be a duet, right? So somebody brought up, and that's why I'm going to Pastor Jeff on this one. The duet was written, and Quincy Jones went to Prince.
Right.
Do the duet with Michael Jackson. Prince declined because he said the very first opening line he wasn't going for. Your butt is mine. He said to Quincy Jones, now who is going to sing that to whom? Because I sure ain't singing that to him, and he sure ain't singing that to me. Pastor Jeff, what's your thought on that one?
Listen, y'all tried to make Prince out to be, you know, a little sweet, but he wasn't having it, man. You know what I'm saying?
At least out in the open.
Prince was the ladies' man. He wasn't gonna mess his image up by having Michael, you know, singing back and forth with Mike. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? He was the ladies' man.
Alrighty. Pastor KL. Pastor Jeff says, hey, he's not gonna mess up his image, and we knew it was all over the place that Prince was not just the ladies' man. So the image was.
I don't know that.
Okay, listen, I don't know it either, Jeff. I have no idea. What I'm saying is,
when I was at a Prince show, right there at the stage, okay. And he played that guitar, and ladies started pulling off their panties, and he was a god to me then. Okay. So don't bust my bubble.
But you ain't 16 no more, Jeff. You ain't 16 no more. So if I'm busting that bubble over some dead Prince, we're gonna have to take you to the altar.
I wasn't even supposed to be in that concert, man. All right.
Wow.
Wow, bro.
Don't bust my bubble.
Okay, I'm glad you and I were not 16 at the same. We were 16 at the same time, but I didn't know you then. So,
listen, I was not 16 when you were 16. All right.
Okay. Wink, Jeff. Okay. I forgot Ainsley. Wink.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's 25. So, Pastor KL, Pastor Jeff says, hey, you know, I don't want my, as far as the artist, I don't want my image tarnished. You know, I already know people are already talking, you know, because, you know, Prince may have been the ladies' man, but that was long out the park. How much does image really matter when you're talking about lyrics? Your butt is mine. Is it just a song, just lyrics? Or is this like, I don't want people associating me with singing these kind of lyrics?
Well, for me, I mean, it does matter. Listen. Let's you started off with talking about the movie. Let's look at how many people got backlash for playing the character of a woman. You know, the Martin Lawrence, the Wayne brothers, the Tyler Perry, you know, who gets beat up. And for us, we would say it's just a character. But no, you get crucified to the cross, you know, for playing these things or for singing these kind of things. I mean, personally, I couldn't sing Your Butt Is Mine. And then look at the other side. Even if Prince was, you know, on both sides of the fence, you know, was Michael Jackson black or white that time? He might not be his type. You know what I mean? He might not want to sing that part. You know what I'm saying?
He was more on the white side when it was the bad.
Yeah. So it wasn't like they were singing "It Don't Matter If You're Black or White." They were singing something totally different.
Okay. What about you, Brother Al? We kind of talked about this over the last couple of weeks. But lyrics, are they just lyrics? Or should they, in your opinion, just be lyrics? Should it not matter? Listen, what's the big deal? The song was already written, or should they rewrite the song? Maybe restart the song in a different way.
Yeah, I would say rewrite the song or something, because it does matter. You could say or do something and your image is now tarnished, or you get, or in my case of the acting, you get typecast if you just playing this one type of character. Just like me, I've been doing it for a while, and I will not play a gay character. I will not play where I got to kiss a man. I'm not doing it. It tarnishes, what you stand for, or what you believe in. And I ain't mad at Prince. Here I am standing with Apollonia 6, and then you want me to say some nonsense. You gone mad. You have gone mad. No, I ain't doing it. No. Change the lyrics and maybe we'll talk about it. So
Al, I got a question for you. Would you play someone just a gay character, but you didn't have to be involved with another man? Would you play that role?
No. Stay away from it. No, sir.
Okay.
Man, you're not true. You're not being true to your craft, man. Not being true to your craft.
Say what you will.
You gotta make people believe you are when you're really not.
No, sir.
What would you say? What would you say, Ainsley?
What to
the question of should it matter? Maybe they should have rewritten the song, or the beginning lyrics, and just go ahead and did the rest of the song, because the rest of the song wouldn't have been offensive.
No, well, I got a little different take on that, because when they do this album and stuff like that, the songs we hear, with the 8 or 10, however it is, in normal time there's a lot. There's a selection process. So I thought it used to be about 40 to 50 songs. I heard Young said they had about 100 songs recorded. It's about narrowing it down to where to go to the direction they wanted to go to, creativity wise and stuff like that. So I guess once you narrowed it down, like these are the songs we're gonna move forward as it is. And my point, where I can see what the issue is, it's not the lyric, but the video. When that part is sung, if we're gonna look at the video, who are we gonna be looking at? We're talking about somebody's butt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and I remember seeing the video about Prince saying, "With that, your butt is mine." He's like, "Oh no, I ain't singing to him, and he ain't singing that to me." So, despite private, that wasn't his public persona. So, I guess he want to be extra careful about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question, and these are for you, Pastor, and the fellas, because Pastor, you and I have spoke about that. Could that be the real reason that he didn't want to do it? Or let's look at it from this aspect. Financially, it made no sense, because Michael Jackson was already the biggest thing. Prince was already the biggest thing. They were going to capture the same people. So even if they did a concert, they wasn't going to make no more money, because the same people that would have went to Prince would have went to Michael Jackson. So for them coming together financially, it made no sense.
Okay. All right. Put it on the floor. Pastor Jeff, you're one who said you loved Michael, you loved Prince. You it sounds like you would have been one to go to both concerts, but had they collaborated and gone, on tour together, Pastor Gail says, listen, financially, they wouldn't have made out any differently than had they toured separately. Do you agree or would you not agree?
I agree because both of them could pull all the money by themselves. So put them together, how much more money can you make? Those places can hold more people. They both could fill stadiums. So yeah, I agree. They couldn't have made no more money, and then they would have did, like I said, they did that song together. They would have messed up my image of them. They would have lost
me. Okay. We got a second from Serge. Hey, Serge. Thank you so much for joining us. What about you, Al? Hey, they would have made no more money, so would it have benefit to even tour together?
I think for the crowd, yes, because people would have wanted to see them or see them collaborate on a different song, of course, but they would have definitely had to add more days, because 2 or 3 days wouldn't have made it. But they definitely would have had been in one place for about 2 weeks. Because people coming, people coming. But I think it would just been a history thing to see, wow, these two great artists coming together. Sometimes there's you have these two great artists and it never happened. It's just like in boxing. You have these two great boxers and never got a chance to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, people wanted to see that, and it never happened.
Okay. And what about you, Ames?
Yeah, I think it would have been a great meeting of the minds. And because, I think eventually what would happen, they probably did, a few shows together. But I think what would have happened eventually, when Prince does his concert, he would have somebody else doing Michael's part. And when Michael went a concert, he had somebody else doing Prince's part. Yeah, I think they pulled from the same. I think they pulled from the same audience. Yeah, I'd like to pull from the same audience. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I found another piece of trivia that I knew nothing about, and I want to know what you guys think. So at one point, they had arranged, Quincy Jones had arranged for Tupac to work with Michael. And Michael left word for Tupac to lay his track alone. They would not get in the studio together. So when Tupac heard that, he refused to work with Michael Jackson going forward because he felt that his thing was he liked to create one-to-one. He liked that.
Rob off the other person.
Right. That in-person collaboration. And Michael Jackson's thing was possibly, look who I would be in the studio with. Would it be safe for me to actually be in the studio? We know that, Tupac drew a lot of negative attention as well as people around. And they said that, I want to read some of this stuff here. They say Tupac was thrilled about the collaboration, but felt it was impersonal when Michael didn't show up to the studio, leading him to leave. They also say that Thug's Nature failed because Michael Jackson did not want to collaborate with Tupac due to his existing loyalty to Biggie Smalls during the East Coast West Coast feud. And Tupac required that all his artists be in the booth with him to vibe together. And because Michael did not want to do that, that kind of severed that arrangement. I'm going back to you first, Pastor Jeff. You know, you're talking about another two greats, if you will, definitely on different levels, but great, if you will. Do you take the chance, or do you hire security, with all the money Michael Jackson had, and does he get this all worked out, and do they arrange? Does he fly Tupac out to China and make this happen so that they can work together, so that that can be an added credit? In other words, there's ways that could have been done where the Tupac East Coast, West Coast thing would not have been a big factor. How do you think this should have been arranged, or should they have left it, leave the ties severed?
They should have left it alone like they did, because Mike was on a whole nother level. He didn't have to take that chance to bring any of that negativity in, any of that element in. He didn't have to do it. He was worshipped as a god. Tupac was not at that level. Okay, he was good, this, that, and the other. But Tupac became more famous after he died. Okay. Mike had reached the pinnacle alive. So they should have left it alone. Mike's scared. That's it.
Okay. Pastor KL.
Yeah, I don't even understand why you would want to do that. Again, I go back to the concert. You gonna have the thugs on one side, the pussies on the other side, and if one of them pussies fall out on the thugs, they get shot. That's just not a combination you want in Madison Square Garden. No, I don't even understand it. And then, did you say Tupac left?
Well, he had to leave because they arranged on March 3rd to be in the studio together. Michael Jackson did not show up because he left a message and said, "Tell Tupac leave his track and go ahead."
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So you're being honored by the biggest star at this point, and you got an attitude. How many times Ainsley got to send me a track to New York or to Alabama or to whatever and say, "Hey, you do what you do there," and send it back. That's just how stuff works. Me and Ainsley don't have to be in the same room together in order for it to be a hit. This is just how music works.
KL, let's just be honest. We're all friends here. Ainsley does not want to be in the studio with you. You have accepted this, but do not make it seem as though it just, there's no reason. You are just, the Tupac, and Ainsley is the Michael.
Well, you know what? His butt is mine. His butt is mine.
Oh gosh. All righty. Al, what are we talking about here? Should he just flew him out to Siberia and made it happen so that Tupac could get that live, in close, up and personal vibe that he needed? They weren't talking about going on tour together. I just needed to get this track. Maybe even 2-3 tracks. If we're going all the way out there to outer space, maybe we could could just cut a whole album, or just leave it alone.
No, I think they should have made some arrangement with that. Because I can understand that. Hey man, I got an opportunity to do a song with this big star. I want to come out with my best. I need to be with him so we can vibe together. And he could say, "Hey, I like that," or "You know what? Can you change that a little bit?" The meeting up together, vibing in the studio. I don't know. I know Ainsley and Pascal probably been in the studio, but back in my day when I used to rap like that, and I was doing something with some people, just getting together it was like it's like a different vibe than, okay, you sent me the track, I hear you, now I lay my track down. It's a different vibe when you're with that person. Now I understand the concern. Hey, listen, hey Tupac, look, I love you, brother, man, but we get in there, but can you please not smoke? The smoke bothers me, bro. We want to get together and let's make this happen. So I'm quite sure Tupac was excited, like, man, I got one of the biggest stars asking me to be on the track. You know, if you're not gonna do it, don't ask me to be on your track. Obviously, you respect my music if you asking me to be a part of a song that you're doing. So you respect, what I do. So hey, let's get together and vibe with it. So I think they should have made some arrangement.
Okay. Ainsley, what say you? I mean, you could tell the truth. You don't want to be with Kale in the studio. I already know the deal. I didn't work with y'all long enough.
Let me tell you.
Me to Craig.
Let me tell you how I think this went down. Let me tell you how I think this went down. So you got Mumbo. All right, Quincy Jones is the producer. So even though Michael Jackson's the artist, Quincy Jones is the producer. Really, Quincy Jones is the one putting this stuff together.
Right.
All right. Everybody's really made that Quincy Jones because he's mostly known as the jazz kind of guy. But he's really known, putting all different type of rappers, singers, different styles together and stuff like that, right? So this was his idea to put Tupac and Michael Jackson together.
Right.
All right. So he put it together. So I think when Quincy Jones told Mike, listen, we're gonna have Pac do this, y'all meet up together. I think Michael Jackson was like, no, Pac, I can't do Pac.
Hey, what did he say? What he said?
Oh my gosh, you didn't drew something out of Ace this morning. I would have never thought that Ace would have been. Oh no, this is brand new.
You didn't go too far. Quincy, you didn't go too far.
I think that's how that went down.
Oh my God. Ainsley? Yes.
Michael, he did a remix song with Jay-Z.
Jay-Z didn't have the vibe that Tupac had. I have to, it's funny because I envision kind of like the same thing that Ainsley just kind of acted out. Like when he told Michael Jackson, I remained, because remember, Quincy Jones's daughter was dating Tupac. Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
Yes, I could see this going down. And because see, let me tell you something. Not only was Quincy Jones, think about this now. Quincy Jones arranged the collaboration with Prince. Quincy Jones arranged a collaboration with Tupac, as well as all of the other individuals that Michael worked with. And Knack. Think about who Quincy Jones was. He was the one. He was the one who did more various artists tracks than many other people. So now you have this mastermind that says, I can actually put together and produce a song from two very different worlds and make a monster of a song. So he has the big picture, in mind. You have Michael, who's thinking, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with it because I'm gonna be honest. Somebody brought it up. Think about who Tupac was. Tupac was not only fueled with a lot of feuding, but a lot of oh my gosh, the word's running to my tongue. Not just feuding, but just intensity. All that weed smoking, and you got to come with your people. your posse, as they say, or whatever. You know, you bringing all of that to a Michael Jackson.
No Pac, no,
right?
No Pac.
Yes, I can honestly see. I can see that happening. Like, yeah, I would love, you know, creativity wise, I can see Michael appreciating, you know, working with a Tupac. But for what Tupac was going to bring to the table along with that creativity, I can do without that. I've made it. I've lived. I ain't got to worry about no gunfire, you know, going over my head. I ain't got to duck underneath no table and all that kind of stuff. I ain't got to worry about getting this added security.
Keep Suge Knight home.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You know, going back and forth to the studio. There was a lot of concern and there was a lot of reason for concern. So I could see this very well, Ains, being this. No, that's okay.
You gotta remember too, Quincy Jones. I believe he had this stuff like that because I think on his own release, I think it's Back on the Block. He did a lot of collaborations between.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes,
and yes. So it wasn't the first time.
No,
maybe on
that's
this
what I
level.
mean.
Yeah.
Yes, so. And that's what I'm talking about. Not only Back on Q's Jukebox.
That's what. Juke joint, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, he was known, like you said, for collaborating, bringing some greatness together. And had he been able to do the Prince and the Michael thing, the Tupac and the Michael thing, these would have been. Listen, all three of them are dead. Can you imagine now what those tracks would have been? Now in, you know, after death. So there's again a great mind says, you know what, let's do it. But Tupac had too much going on that Michael Jackson was like, listen, I'm who I am without all of this. I still want to be here tomorrow after the track.
How about a Prince Pac thing?
What'd you say?
How about a Prince Pac collaboration? Can you imagine something like that?
Oh no.
You gotta ask Pastor Jeff that.
Yeah, man. How you feel about that, bro?
That's a Pac.
Nah. Prince wasn't as big as Michael, but he was big. So, you know, leave that alone.
But the styles, even the style of Michael and Prince, Michael and Tupac would have definitely blended better than Prince and Tupac, in my opinion. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I can see the Prince and Tupac. I'm not Tupac. Michael and Tupac collaborating.
Tupac could rap the panties off a woman. But Prince could play it off. You know what I'm
saying? Oh my gosh.
Nobody would do it. But you know, the in-person thing is for me a perfect example. Even here with the Do Time show. Remember, we used to just be on the phone. But now we can see each other, the expression, the facial expression. We vibe off each other. I think we vibe definitely off even better.
Yes, I agree, Al. I don't doubt why Tupac kind of, let me, and maybe y'all can help me with this. People of intensity, and I'm just talking about intensity. I'm not talking about what kind, but people who are intense, they definitely vibe better person to person. And I'll start with you, Ainsley.
I'm quite understand the question.
Do you agree or disagree? You know, I think Al brought up the fact that, okay, from phone to visual, we vibe differently. It's been heightened because we can see one another, the mannerisms and things like that. For me, in my opinion, the intensity, people who are intense, they vibe better person to person, opposed to like Michael Jackson wanted. Well, you go ahead and leave your track. I'll just come and I'll just do what I need to do. You ain't gotta be there. I'm on my way. You just be gone by the time I get there. You know, do you agree or do you disagree that people who are intense, not the type of intent, but just intense in their craft, vibe better when it's live, person to person?
I would think so. But then again, I'm gonna take it the other way around. I think so, but I'm gonna take the other way around for this reason, because you know they vibe better. When you think the vibe, that means it's gotta go both ways. Now, if somebody's too intense, someone who I don't really want to deal with, I'm gonna keep you at a distance, and I'd rather deal with you on the phone than have to deal with you in person, and like that.
But I'm talking about good intensity. I'm not talking about bad intensity. I'm talking about good intensity.
Oh, good intensity. All right.
Yeah, because we know people bad intensity is why we're talking about why Michael didn't want to be with Tupac in the studio.
No pop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and in that regard, yeah, I can see definitely. It's more of a back and forth. You know, it's more language talk being communicated besides our words. It's our body language and stuff like that. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. Kel, do you agree or disagree that, you know, there's some intensity, the intensity of it all, the good intensity can, you know, really make you crave, to be person to person, and it may come out better than that?
I personally, I'm split. I think it could be on both sides. You know, most people know Ainsley and I, we worked together over 30 years. We ran one of the biggest choirs. Now, when it came to choir, you know, I want to be there because we will create with all the choir members, and we'll change stuff around right then and there. But if I had to do something personal, Ainsley, just send me the track. You know, because he already played. There's nothing going to be nothing we vibe. What he put down, he already put down. So I could do that on my own. So it depending on the situation.
Look at that Steph face.
It's okay. You ask the question, I answer. Hey, you don't do that to Jeff when he has a million stories about Prince and his booty.
I won't tell that Ainsley won't work with you. He'd rather you be going out the studio before he gets there. I won't tell.
Hey, look, go ahead and lay down your track. I'm running late, so go ahead and lay your track down.
You know, I missed my flight. I want to hold you up. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you up. So, gang. Gail, you could be going. You could be going. Jeff, you know, in your, you could even talk about even preaching. You know, if you're on like a platform, service, you know, where the preachers are getting up and, you know, they're kind of, you know, bringing it. Do you feel like, you know, it's better if you have them person to person or virtual? It's good.
You know, person to person is always better. You know, you can feel more in the atmosphere. But you was talking about that intensity stuff. Two intense people can't really jive together. Somebody's got to take a back burner. Somebody's got to be a little softer, you know? So.
Well, that's what pretty much happens with creativity and you working with who you're working with. And Ainsley and KL could speak to this better. You know, you don't, and Pastor KL and myself, you know, when we're on, you know, you don't try. If your goal is to be the bigger star, then you're right. It ain't gonna work. But if your goal is to make something that's going to be big, then automatically, like you said, somebody would just step back. Because I don't have to shine, because we shine together and we're, you know, our blend. So KL and Ainsley, I mean, y'all can answer that as to whether you agree or disagree, or how that stepping back, what's the word I want to say? Intentional step back will make it work. Like I think
I mentioned it one time before. I think what it is, you got intentionally, but stay in your lane, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in your lane. I remember there was one time, there was the project that me and KL, and we have a mutual friend named Paul Johnson, right? And so Paul did the mix and all that kind of stuff. I did my music part, and KL did the vocal arrangement and stuff. So Paul and KL, before I got there, they're going at each other, right? Because Brother KL, he wants to do the vocals over. He thinks something got to be done. And Paul is like, I'm done. It's done. That's it and stuff like that, right? They both had the good points. So when I get there, they're level 10, right? So I get in, you know, and they were like, we listen to each other. Well, I listened to it, right? When I heard the track, even though I'm not a vocal guy, I kind of hear what Brother KL was saying. I was like, yeah, listen. Look, to get the best product done, you do your best. That's what you do, the mixing and stuff. I do what I do. When I'm satisfied with it, I'm good. Once he's satisfied with his part in his lane, that's why we all get the best product. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, like, you gotta be intensity, but let's stay within your lane. You know what I'm saying? So
wait, so what did you say about Paul? Paul's side, you said that you could understand with KL. He was wrong. He's always wrong. He ain't never gonna get nothing done. What'd you say about Paul now? Did you say Paul was right? Because KL is always wrong.
I gotta go.
No, but seriously, I did hear what you said about KL's side. What did you say about Paul's side?
Paul, he was like, he thought he think the track was done. You know,
okay.
He was like, okay, I don't want to do no further with it. I think it's done enough and whatnot. And he used to do that to me all the time. No, you done. And so I understood that dynamic and whatnot.
Okay.
You know, because otherwise there's a tendency to want to keep redoing stuff, keep doing stuff over, and I can do it better. I can do it better. And what happens over a period of time, you're wasting time and money, and then nothing gets done. Nothing goes out.
Right.
You know, so.
Okay.
At this point, I was like, nah, Brother KL, he's right on this. Let him do what he got to do.
Okay. I won't tell that KL was wrong, and you're siding with him now because it is later, and you can look bad and Paul ain't here. I got it. Al, what say you about, you have already said even the intensity, but speaking for experience of even, you know what, and that can be an acting thing. We're gonna constantly go over lines. It's like, something got to be natural at the time. We rehearse, get it done, get it to a certain point, let's step back and just bring it to the table when it's time to actually put the show up.
Like Pastor Jeff said, in person is always good. I mean, even like sometimes there's been a show I was in, a show that I'm about to work on with this lady, and we do a Zoom call. We do a Zoom meeting, and for me, it does nothing for me. For me, it's just reading your lines and going over it. We need to be in person so we can see the blocking. And when I say this, what are you doing while I'm saying this? So I can react to that. So the in-person is always good. And then like what Ainsley said, and you have to stay in your line, and in your lane. There's some people step over, like in Ainsley's situation, you arrange music. So stick to what you do and what you know how to do. You arrange the music. Pastor Kells does vocal. He hears something. We've been doing it for a long time. Let him do what he needs to do. And then when you collaborate and you're trying to get a product, you gotta give in at points with certain things. Like I was partnered with this guy, and this guy could not get his line. Me and him went over it. Then when it was time to film, he just kept messing up. I'm like, bro, my throat was starting to get a little sore. And and I took him to the side. Instead of getting mad at him, because we got to get this done, I took him to the side. I told the director, hey, just give us 10. I took him to the side. All right, calm down, bro. What you think is the problem here? He said, man, I get hit. For some reason, I go blank. I said, okay, let's just go over. Let's just read it, and let's just go over. Because I wanted to bring him in. He was already feeling bad because he wasn't getting the line. Now you out of character now because you feeling bad. Right.
Right.
Bro, and we were the last scene, and I'm like, bro, I do want to go home. So come on, let's go over here and talk.
See, you know what, brother Al, you bring too much intention. You scaring the brother, man. He couldn't think straight, man. You didn't say that part, man.
He was with greatness. He was with greatness. He was with Michael Jackson.
You know, all jokes aside, I have to say, you know, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You know, I've worked with all three of these men, and they are top notch. Top notch. They bring it. You're not going to get half stepping. You're not going to get, you know, somebody who's going to halfway do it, or I'm trying. When you meet, you better be ready to put it out there, because they're bringing it, and they bring it in excellence. They know what they're doing. I have not worked with three better people than Ainsley, KL, and Al, and it is my pleasure. They have taught me so much. You know, they talk about me, but I learned from the best. You gotta step your game up. You know, we talk about intensity. This is the intensity, Jeff, that you were talking about, where everybody's gotta, you know, somebody's gotta step back. You gotta know your lane. And you know, they call me a bully, but you know, I learned from them.
I wonder why.
I learned from them.
Where is the lie? Where's the lie?
It is really, really, when KL comes to the table, he's snapping his finger. You're not half stepping with the notes. You ain't gonna be there singing all soft and scared, and nah. If you say you sing, you better come to this table singing, because I have seen just the look on his face, and he'll look and say, "I thought she said she could sing." Oh, yeah, he is not. Am I lying, Ace? He will do that in a minute.
You get that face
do it in a minute. Yeah, and you're like, you know the sign. He doesn't have to say a word, because you know the look. But when he says, if you say you can sing, when you come to this podium, you come to this microphone, you better bring it. Ainsley, the best musician that I've ever heard, worked with, seen. I mean, top notch, knows what he's doing. But let me tell you something about Ainsley. He's a lot. He works with you. He will work with you. I don't care what level where you are. He will work with you, and he will elevate you just in his gentleness. He's firm, but there's a gentleness about him, and you feel obligated to step your game up, because it's like, okay, if he's doing all of that, with all he has, then I can't walk away. You know, or I can't come back tomorrow to my I'm still working on this thing. No, you really this
I ain't working with you. I ain't working with you. You gotta get down. I ain't working.
You know, so I don't know how he's been able to tolerate Kel all these years, but you know, that shows you the gentleness. Told you, gentle. Al, I love Al. Al, when Al comes out, is comedic, but he's intense. He's on point. He knows his lines. He knows his blocking. He's going to teach you. You watching him. He's going to give you pointers. He's not only working for you and with you, he's going to work around you. So another one, very gentle, but very stern. So you got the best in this room. Now, Jeff, I'm just getting ready I'm just learning, Jeff. You know, I have to tell you, Pastor Jeff and I have really developed, in my opinion, a nice relationship. You know, I've been blessed to really meet Pastor Jeff. We talk, and I love listening to Jeff, because he got tons of stories. But he brings a lot to the table. And I tell you, again, I always say to y'all, I learned from the best. I was always smart to be in the best of company. And these gentlemen, I tell you, you gonna get something when you work with them. You're not gonna walk away, you know, just like lost. You're gonna walk away having learned a lot. And I walk away every Friday, you know, learning something from all of you. So I thank you again. All of you are just dynamic in all that you do. Terrence has got a word before we walk away from this thing. Oh, wait, what is he saying? I can't see it. Unlighted Shanti's for me. So he says, so Ainsley will work with you and Pastor KL won't. Yeah, I ain't worried about KL. KL is a bully. He doesn't, he didn't tell you that. He's a bully. But, I work with Pastor KL in a different capacity now. For those of you who have been with us on Sundays and Mondays, I tell you, he brings it. And man, I'll be sitting on the other end going, I got to follow that right there. He didn't gave, you got to wash clothes and I got to come behind that. So like I said, they all make you work. They work you. And you want to be in the company. And I will say, because I'm going to close very quickly after this, but I will say in the presence of these men before I go, when God gives you, you better know and recognize real fast, because nothing is promised to you tomorrow. Nothing. Absolutely. Whatever God gives you, you better be able to recognize real quickly that this is a blessing in front of you. And God is not going to leave this blessing sitting in your lap. So you better catch, all these 4 men, they bring something different to the table. Even when you hear them every Friday, everybody's got something different. Even if they agree, it's something different. When they disagree, it's something different. And this is God. This is work. This is creativity. This is gift. This is talent. And this here, you want to be in the company. If you don't find yourself in the company of people like this, then you're not in the right place in life. And all of us are in the seasoned part of our life. I don't care how much Jeff tell y'all he's 25. Jeff is the oldest of all of us. He's about 73.
Listen.
He's 73 years old.
Yeah.
But if you don't find yourself in the company of what I have right here in front of me, you're missing out on life. And ask God to find you people like this. And that's why I individually laid out each one of them, because that's how I'm closing today.
Well, hold on, because you can't close.
How rude, you see how rude you are?
I'm the bully, remember? Hold on. So let me tell you folks that the body is as good as the head. Don't let Pastor Steph fool you. Pastor Steph is phenomenal in what she does. She brings out what you see in us, she brings it out. Yes, because she's just not, though she may not say it, and a lot of times she may say it, if she don't agree with our answers, well, she gonna let you know she don't agree with the answer. So you have to dig deep either to explain the answer why you feel that way. Listen, sometimes we're not even sure how we feel after we look at Pastor Steph. We question our own feeling. But listen, we work with Pastor Steph, and Pastor Steph is phenomenal. She's strong. She knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? And her whole body, her whole being is into it. She's not second guessing herself. And if she doesn't second guess herself, she's not second guessing you. If whatever standard she has for herself, she has that same expectation from you. And she pulls out the best in us. So don't let her act like it's just us and she riding on the waves, because listen, she would definitely throw us off this boat and put us in the waves, and we don't have it together. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I did all that. Amen. I say amen to that, for real.
Pastor Steph, I know you get very close, but I just wanted to share something with you guys real quick. I do want you guys to also keep me in prayer. I have to go into emergency surgery on next Thursday. That's why I'm here now, because I got to do pre-surgery testing today, the heart and all that. And just real quick, I found out that I had a hernia. Did a CAT scan. I got 3 hernias. And there's one hernia that's in my groin area. It's very big, and somehow it didn't attach itself to my bladder. So they have to move that immediately off the bladder. So I will be going into surgery on next Thursday. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Tell you guys to keep me in prayer because I know he's able. He's a healer. And
Amen.
Definitely.
Make sure I'm going to snatch the doctor up and anoint him. Doc, get over here. We need to pray right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would
Hey, Pastor Steph said before you go into surgery, make sure you're on. You know, you still got to come to work.
You know, Brother Al, as a person who has undergone surgery, who has had multiple hernias, and who has multiple hernias, and I can't even get operated on because of the sensitivity. I know God is a healer. I know God can get this done. I know God is the chief operator, the chief surgeon. So, you know, definitely lifting you up in prayer. Definitely know God's got you, you know, because this is a personal thing. And I don't know nothing else more than I know God. I know God through surgery. So giving God thanks that, you know, we are 5 people in the Lord. And we trust, you know, Pastor Jeff just got finished saying he has to have surgery on his hip, you know, as well. You know, you know, God is amazing. And again, you are in the company of people who know God and know how God can bring you through. So we encourage you. We know that God's got you. And we will definitely pray together before you go in. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with us. But like I said, you know, right now, I can't even go because I have so many hernias. And like you said, this is emergent because it can definitely work its way, you know, into some bad situation. But we know God is covering you. So we trust that you will have, you know, everything will go well today. And subsequently next week, Thursday, God spares your life. Things will go, you know, even better. You know, I'm sure all of the, how does Brian come through right now with Hey Shantice when Al has poured his little life on the line? Put his little life on the line about please pray for me. And Brian says, Hey Shantice, and she ain't nowhere in one of these 5 boxes. But so we gonna pray for Brian. Blessings, Brian. But thank you for the accolades, everybody. Al, God's got you. We got you. Have a wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for the impromptu conversation. You know, as always, God does not leave us, you know, nor forsake us. Always something to bring to the table. And we pray that you all have been blessed by today's conversation in one way or the other. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.
All right, everybody. Take care.
God bless you.
You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above and not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew, the men, for always taking us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping us do what we do and keeping that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity right now to give Christ your life. Please do not miss this opportunity right now to just strengthen that relationship with the Lord, because later is not promised to anyone. As I said earlier, find yourself in the company of the best, because God has the best for you. And because God has the best for you, you are already surrounded by the best. Make sure you find out who that is. Yesterday, we talked about choosing your friends wisely. This is what it looks like. So make sure that you give God thanks. And if you're not sure, when you go before the Lord, ask God to please help you to discern who you need to gravitate to, who you need to hold on to, and who you need to let go of, because God does not want you carrying around any dead weight. Until Sunday, God spares, where we will be in the Word Project prayer room. Come on in the room and see what we're praying about. Until then, God spares, I love you.